Do you really need a 450cc motocross bike? Or are there better alternatives out there for your average weekend warrior like myself? Our mission today is to find out the answer. I see it online, I hear it at the tracks, and if I'm being honest, I've maybe even thought it myself from time to time. But I think we've all heard it. Hobby riders, weekend warriors stating that they absolutely need a 450, that nothing else will do, nothing else has the power that they desire. After all, there's no replacement for displacement. But let's be real here. There's no hobby rider in the world that can use all of the power that a 450 has to offer. Even the best riders on the planet rarely use all of the potential power at their fingertips. I've even heard of top GP guys taming back the power on their 450s to make a full moto more manageable. So that begs the question, what bike would a normal, average weekend warrior like myself, or my good friend and our channel test rider Sean, what would we be faster on? A big, monstrous 450 with all the power in the world, or a more nimble, tameable 254-stroke that we can really muscle around the track? Well, we've travelled to northern Italy today to find out the answer. So before we get our experiment underway, let me introduce you to our steeds for the day. We're here at Malpensa near Milan in northern Italy with Honda, where they're presenting their brand new 2025 model year 250 and 450 machines. So they are the bikes that we'll be using for our test today. Sean will be doing hot laps on both of the bikes to prove once and for all which machine is best for your average weekend warrior. But we'll also be reviewing each of the new bikes as well. So let me tell you about the updates and the changes for 2025.
Okay, so here I am at Malpensa near Milan in northern Italy. And I'm currently on the 2025 Honda CRF 250R, brand new for this year, as is the 450. The first time in a long time that Honda have released new models for both the 250 and the 450 at the same time. Now their headline changes is the frame. 70% different is the frame, new suspension as well, and some different componentry in the motor, especially on the 250 here. But I'll cut this was voiceover with some more detailed talk on the updates for 2025.
Honda's aim for both 2025 machines was to maximise stability and enhance mid-range torque, with both bikes packing extra power past peak. The 250 features a new crankshaft with increased rigidity, which should provide better throttle control. And both bikes feature a new airbox design which should also improve throttle connection. The exhaust system on the 250 has been altered to try and increase mid-range control, and on the 450 has been altered to try and improve low to mid-range power. Perhaps the biggest upgrade though has been to the chassis. We still see the iconic twin spar aluminium frame, but 70% of the componentry is new, such as the headstock, the down tube, etc, etc. This new frame provides a 4% increase in vertical rigidity, giving overall greater stability. There's a new subframe which also increases frame stability as well. The front end has obviously been revised to work with this new frame, and we're seeing 49mm Showa forks here. In terms of braking, there's a new HRC designed Nissan front caliper, In terms of technology, there's 3 different torque control modes, that's basically traction control. There's 3 different engine modes and launch control. And quite obviously there's new bodywork, which in my opinion looks fantastic.
So as we've said, we are testing today to see whether your normal club weekend warriors, like myself and Sean, whether we're quicker on a 250 nimble manageable machine or a 450. And to do that test for me, I've got my good pal, you know him, you love him, our team test rider Sean Smith. So I'm going to hand the reins over to Sean to send some hot laps on both machines. Rup.
Just altering the sag for me. It's at 96 mil at the minute and they're running around about 100, so they're just going to slacken it off a bit, so should be good to go.
How factory does that make you feel?
Yeah, super factory. I mean, these guys are from Showa, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? You know, you can't get better than that, can you?
So it's Sean's turn to take the 250 for a spin. He's going to lay down some hot laps and see if the little Ripper has what it takes to defeat the big 450 today.
Out on track with Conrad Muse, Graham Irwin,
Dave Thorpe watching on.
Yeah, Forky watching on. Crockard's here. I mean, you can't get better than that, can you? Come on. Awesome.
Are you sort of keeping your hopes on to be signed after this?
Listen, I ride with 2 throttles. I don't think anybody's going to adapt my style, but we'll see how we go.
Sean is about to lay down his hot lap on board the 2025 CRF 250R. He's currently got, that's Conrad Muse there, just making the pass on. Dave Willits up the inside. They're just ahead of Sean here as the clock starts on his hot lap. Going to use Conrad and Dave to give him a tow around this Malpensa circuit here in Italy. I think it's worth mentioning that if you want to see big whips and a pro rider review the new bikes, maybe look elsewhere. We're trying to make this review as relatable as possible to the people that will actually be going to the showrooms to buy these machines, which is why Sean is on the bike right now and why I'm along as well. We are just normal riders, clubman racers, so we thought our opinions and our thoughts might be relatable to you guys. Here we can see Sean letting it rip on board the 250 here. Typically Sean is a 250 rider, that's what he races back home. So I would imagine that he feels a bit more comfortable on the smaller bike here today. Obviously we did give Sean plenty of time to get used to the bike before we got the stopwatch out. So he's fully accustomed and settled into this new machine on this hot lap. That's Taylor Hamill there just making the pass on Sean Smith, one of the top MX2 riders in the UK at the moment. He rides for Dave Thorpe's Crendon Fast Track Honda team. Sean charging down the hill here to one of the most important corners here at Malpensa. It's a bit soggy down there, tight, and then a big uphill drag. We're coming towards the end of this hot lap on board the 250 then. Just one turn here, charge down the hill, back towards the start finish turn. Sean lays it into the rut, on the gas and across the line. We could not make videos like the one you are watching right now without the support of our awesome channel sponsors. If you're needing to restock on your motorcycle oils and lubricants, be sure to check out Putoline they've got an awesome tool on their website where you just type in your bike model into the search bar and they'll bring up all of the products that they recommend you need for your bike. Check them out, there's a link in the description down below. And of course, we've got to say a big thank you to 24MX as well. If you need to restock on hard parts, accessories, pit products and loads more, be sure to check out the 24MX website. They've also got a massive summer sale going on at the moment, and you can get 15% off a whole range of ProWorks products on the website if you use our discount code LASER15 during the month of July. Again, there's links in the description down below. A big thank you goes to Putoline and 24MX for supporting what we do. Before we get out the big bad 450, let's talk to some familiar faces and hear their thoughts on our test.
So I've got the one and only Mr. Dave Thorpe with me here at Malpensa. Dave, this is the first time in a while, they said last night, that they've had a new 250 and a new 450 all new at the same time. Now, what we're trying to investigate today is what would be best for your average everyday hobby rider, a 250 or 450. Because I'm sure you've heard it, I've heard it on the line, you're sitting in a junior group and there's the guys just want to impress their mates down a pub and say, oh, I've got the 450, but do they really need it? What do you think a hobby rider would be quicker on around this track today?
I don't know that for the hobby rider it's about being quick.
Yeah.
I think one of the big problems that we have is, like you say, a lot of people feel they need a 450, but the reality is over the last 10 years the 250 has come on a lot. So I think modern day racing, if you're a club racer, sometimes you would argue it's better to start from the front, which is a 450, and work your way back to a comfort zone, rather than being on a 250 and being a long way back and eating dirt, because for all of us that's not a lot of fun. No. So I always look at people, it depends where they're racing, what they're doing. If they're practicing at a practice track, it works because they can start and stop on a big bike, they haven't got to drain themselves. I personally, at my age, 61, if there's two bikes sat in the workshop, 250 or 450, I would always take the 250.
Really?
Just because the 450, I think I can, my brain thinks it can, but my body is a little bit behind. And because I'm an ex-racer, I do want to twist the throttle, and there's nothing more scary than a 450 running away with you. Yeah. So it is, for the young guys that are riding for pleasure, there's both sides of it. If you're a big guy, maybe 85, 90 kilos, you could argue you need a bigger bike. But a lot depends on where you ride, how you want to ride. If you want to start at the front on an open race and come from the front and drop back, or the other way around. Yeah.
So we're stood here with Mr. Conrad Muse. Conrad, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions here. Firstly, Sean and I are testing today not only the bikes, but we're trying to test to see whether a club rider like us is better off going for a 250 or a 450. What bike do you reckon a club rider would be faster on, or would be better suited for them in a race situation?
It's a bit of a difficult question, that one. I mean, a lot of it depends on the way the rider likes to ride, like obviously the 450 is a big bike, like it's a lot to handle, and like for your probably average rider that's probably don't get out on the bike in the week and maybe just turns up in races the weekend, it's a lot of bike, but at the same time, I can only speak for the 450 Honda, the CRF 450 Honda, it's also a very mellow power, it's not an aggressive bike, it's very nice power delivery, it's very smooth, so you can get away with it. You'd probably get a little bit more enjoyment out of the 250 just purely because it's a little bit easier. Yeah. It's a little bit easier on your body, on your hands, on your arms, it's a little bit less stress. But both Honda bikes you'd get away with, not a problem. I mean, both of them are very, very nice to ride straight out the box. First time here today, I've rode a bike straight out the crate, and I've only got positive feedback. I've not changed one single thing on it, and it's just it's nice to ride it and break it down. The first time I jumped on a Honda with Dave Thorpe, it was straight into the full bike. So I've never actually had the chance to ride it like this, and yeah, it's nice to do it. And like I said, I think both bikes are very, very nice and comfortable to ride. So I think that your hobby rider could get away with riding both of them.
So it's time for the 450 to come out and play then. Let's see what the new 2025 CRF 450R is made of in the hands of a hobby rider. Sean's about to hit the track for his fast lap on board Big Red. Here we go then. One lap of Malpensa on the CRF 450. Got this awesome chase cam for this one. So far so good if you ask me. It's looking comfortable on board the CRF 450 so far. Hard on the brakes down the steepest hill here at Malpensa, into the dust berm, up and over the little tabletop here, and then we got a hairpin, right hand hairpin. Easy does it, another small tabletop to a tricky sweeper corner. This is where we can really start to lay down the power on this section on board the big 450. On the gas here, back up the hill and a small step up. Then the track tightens up once again. So this next section, you can see the chicane coming up. The 250 might have been a bit easier to manoeuvre through there. Sean seems to have made light work of it on board the 450. And now we're into the wide open spaces, a big long uphill here where the 450 can really feed. Sean can really open it up here. Hard on the gas up there. About to jump back down the hill into view of the paddock. Sean launching it. As I mentioned earlier, Sean typically is a 254-stroke rider. Tends to stay clear of the big 450s. He doesn't feel like he needs all that power when he's racing at the level that he's at. Here we go then, the final straight, jumps down the hill into the final turn. What is going to be the result? Leave your guesses down below. What bike do you think Sean was faster on here today? All will be revealed shortly.
Okay, so we've just finished riding here at Malpensa. We both had a go on this, which is the 2025 CRF 250R, and his big brother, the CRF 450R. Before we reveal your lap times and we work out once and for all which size bike is best for the weekend warrior, let's just talk about the new machines and give them a bit of a review, shall we? We'll start with this one, the 250. Yep. So on track then, we have ridden the 2024 Honda 250 on the channel earlier this year. Yep. What were your thoughts about this bike on track?
Compared to the 2024?
Compared to the 2024 and compared to the 250s that you usually ride as well.
I mean, again, great handling, suspension. What I do like about it is like it's map switches on the left, starter on the right. They've not started switching anything up.
Yeah, that's
like
one thing
brands.
on the gas that I don't like, is that the kill switch is here, which means your mates can easily reach over and turn it off if they're on that side of you.
But downside for me, it's still cable clutch. Not that there's an issue with the clutch or anything like that.
You just prefer the hydraulic?
I think you get, you know, again for me, better feel on the hydraulic clutch. Yeah, all in all, it's a very, very good all-round package. You know, all the changes that they've done are there to, you know, to suit. We'll go through it, but they have stiffened the chassis up, and their whole idea was to stiffen the chassis up. Was because they found that it was flexing and then rebounding, which was then the counteracting with the suspension. So it wasn't quite balanced, so they've now rectified that. It was stable as anything, you know, it was very, very
confidence
good.
inspiring,
Very good.
In the turns especially.
Yeah, super good. The only downside for me is the other brands out there, they've got another 1,000 RPM on the top. You should be up there with them. Do you know what I mean? They're all running around about 14,000 RPM, and this is 13. Yeah. And that might be something to do with like noise control and, you know, emissions and all that malarkey, but you know, the others are doing it, so you know it should be there. But on track, I felt I'd be lying if I didn't say I was feeling it, I did feel it, but it was still peaky on the top, which 250S, that's how I like them, peaky on the top, but you just felt that you were lacking just that little bit.
Off the bottom?
Yeah, no, on the top.
On the top?
Yeah, on the top. Off the bottom and mid, they're very good. That's how Honda build their engines. Yeah.
Try to improve is that mid.
They always build their engines, 250S, they always build them like strong bottom to mid, but then the mid to top, it's not as good as, some of the other brands, but this will suit some riders, and it will, it doesn't suit others. But again, spend a few pennies, pipe, ignition, and you'll get that RPM up there.
Front brake, did you notice an improvement on that or not really?
Because I ride the Austrian brand, and they're Brembos. This is equally as good. It didn't feel like there was any part where I felt a disadvantage. The brakes, both front and back, were bang on, really good.
So overall then, how would you rate the 2025 Honda, better or worse than last year?
Oh, far better, yeah. The engine is stronger for sure. It revs more freely than last year, but then it's still restricted at the top slightly. If you're run it off the bottom to mid, and you're a short shifter, this is absolutely perfect for something like that.
I ride more like that than you.
Yeah, I like to get a bit more rev on the top, on the over rev.
And to finish off on the 250 then, talk about the looks. The same on the 450 as well. They've got the same redesign, restyling. Yeah. I love this look as a look. It looks so sleek.
Yeah, I mean, it looks very sleek. It looks stylish. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, they've really thought about what they're doing. Like even the back end, you've got, it's very slim, even though you've got the pipe that side.
I love the tank.
Yeah, everything about it is just like I said, they've really thought about what they've done. Easy access to the air filter now, which is a bonus. It's just literally one bolt and you're in the side.
Let's talk about big brother, the CRF 450R. Hit the track on that today. You're not typically a 450 guy, but we unleashed you on track on board the big boy.
Yeah.
How did it go?
I mean, round here, you can see the hills in the background. It was yeah. I won't say the word phenomenal because I've been banned from saying that word, but yeah, it was incredible.
Really, really good.
It was incredible.
Incredible.
It was incredible. Yeah, I think it's the first time I've jumped on a 450, and because you've got a lot of selection with the map switch in maps and traction, and you've got 3 options in both. So even the traction, it's not just traction on, traction off. It's traction 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
so you have 3 levels of it. So you have 3 options there. And I couldn't fault it. I literally had a smile on my face. And it's a gnarly track out there to be on a 450. Yeah, it filled me with so much confidence.
Did that surprise you coming into the
Yeah,
game?
because every 450 I've jumped on, I literally just think, who rides these things? They are so powerful. I'm not the bracket of 14 to 17 stone, so I feel like I'm a little fly bouncing on top of the seat. But that was completely different. It was just very smooth, very linear power. It wasn't aggressive. It just revved out just nice where you needed it. It's just a joy.
And the 450, new airbox, new header pipe, and they changed the linkage, didn't they?
Yeah, on both bikes. So they've changed the linkage where it bolts to the frame. So before, where the dog bone linkage joins to the frame, it was like 2 separate linkages that bolted to some lugs on the back of the chassis. But now there's like an infill, solid piece. So it's more conventional, like what you'd find on most bikes, where instead of 2 bolts, it's a long bolt goes through, with the bearings in the middle. They've done that, I guess, to try and stop a bit of, that movement in the swing arm.
And it's supposed to be easy to access and change that if you need to. Just
so they say.
I think 4 parts to remove to get into that.
Yeah, they said it's a lot easier to change the shock now because they've done that, so it's a lot quicker. Like I say, going back to the exhaust, they've made the header longer, try and smooth it out a bit more. Yeah, they've done a very good job.
So overall, it's safe to say you're pretty impressed with the big 450.
I was very impressed with that 450.
Yeah, and again, you rode last year's bike on the channel earlier this year. A lot better?
Yeah. It was very, very good, very stable bike, like the 250. Apart from the power in the engine, it wasn't any different, do you know what I mean? And the hydraulic clutch, they just felt the same, so plush and stable. You didn't need anything to turn off, which you don't really find with a 450. They're very hard because they'll chug forward and push the front, and you won't be able to turn it. But that didn't do that. You could just literally turn it as easy as you could turn this.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very good.
Okay then, so let's get down to the business end of this video. The reason that we really wanted to come here and why we wanted to ride both of these bikes back to back was to see if a weekend warrior, your average Joe rider, he is, so he doesn't like to say it, but he is, this is the typical customer for a Honda.
Yeah, I am the guy that will go into the shop and buy, one of these bikes.
Yeah. So you're the best guy to do this test for us. Are you going to be faster on a 250 or a 450? From hearing your review, I think I know what your guess is going to be of what you're faster on. But let's have a look at the results. I've got them written down here. I actually don't know them yet either. They was recorded on the Crossbox data logger that you've got on your lid. So these are dead accurate lap times that we've recorded today. Let's have a fun factor score from you. Which bike did you enjoy more?
Today, at this track, I would say it was I had the most fun on the 450.
Really?
Yeah.
So before we reveal the lap times then, my theory is that a 450 typically is too much for your normal rider, for your club racer. For me, you would agree, typically, right? But we're going to see if we're wrong or right in that theory today. So, okay, so I'm flipping this over. This is the 250 lap time, CRF 2025. A 152.71 is the time to beat. So this is session 1 on the 450. The track was a little bit, they just watered it. So we'll do session 1, session 2. 450 time. A 156.39.
What?
4 seconds quicker on the 250.
Really?
Yeah. Let's have a look at the dry session on the 450.
This is blowing my mind.
Ready?
Yeah,
dry session on the 450.
Yeah.
Moment of truth. 151.24.
So only just.
Only just quicker.
That's shocked
One
me.
a second and a half quicker on the 450.
Wow.
So, does that mean we're now going to tell all club racers out there to go and buy a 450?
No, I would say all club racers out there, you go and pick that bike that you feel the most comfortable on. That's what I'd say to anybody.
So, knowing those numbers, which one of these two bikes would you go and buy?
250.
The 250.
Before you said that, I'd be the 450.
Because it's so close?
No, because that felt so much faster.
But you've changed your mind because the times are that close?
Yeah, because, I mean, look at the hills. There's a lot of hills here for that 450 to be wide open, do you know what I mean, up them hills, which it was.
So I think that's kind of the result that I was expecting, I think.
Really?
That's kind of the result that I was not hoping for, but that was the story that I thought we was going to tell, is that you need to be a really, really good rider to get the most out of those 450s.
Yeah.
No doubt Conrad's going around this track quicker on the 450 than the 250.
Yeah, second or two quicker than me or something like that.
But it just goes to show, like you say, pick the bike that you feel most comfortable on. So
that's what I'd say. I mean,
take it for a test.
Yeah, they're both fantastic. They're both equally as good as each other. It's what you prefer to ride. If you're a bit of a lazy rider, 450, jump on that. If you like to tear about a little bit and
eat some roost for a bit.
Yeah, well, a little bit, jump on one of these.
So I apologise that we don't maybe have the most conclusive answer to the question we asked at the start of the video. But hopefully this video will help you make a decision if you're looking to buy a new bike next year, whether you go 250 or 450. But one thing we know for sure is these new Hondas pretty damn good, aren't they?
I can second that, mate.
Yeah,
very, very good.
So I think that will wrap us up today. Sean, thanks as always for doing the riding for us. Big thanks to Honda UK for having us out. The track crew, it's been prime all day. The filmers, photographers out there, they've been baking in the sun. It's been a hot one, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has,
Yeah, you can see us. You can see us melting a little bit here.
Yeah.
But as always, guys, my name is Max. You've been watching 999 Laser. Until next time, we'll see you at the track.